This is a VOD review for Spencer on Rialto. So let's get this started. It's the very start of the map right now.
Raylan.
I can't stream. I'm just gonna have to record and see if it...
Minimum placement isn't really where someone would be. Not
Nope,
being on the
sorry,
high ground at the start is kind of
left
feels
side,
bad,
left side.
right? Because you can't see
Oh,
scout.
they're fast.
So they move there.
Yo,
So
holy shit, my
right here, you move towards your team on the high ground. So it's good that you went onto the high ground, but if you look, you just look past it. So you moved yourself up here. Let's use the drawing thing. You moved yourself up here, which isn't really that good of a spot because your sight lines are now this. Oh, sorry. No, wait, this is not the right spot. I'm an idiot. This looks funky. There we go. Okay, so you're here, which makes it really hard to shoot anything other than what's right here and maybe just like a tiny bit of like up here. So your sight lines are kind of rough, right? Because you can't shoot through this. So if you'd, and the rest of your team is also shooting in this direction, and the enemy team is like right in here coming from this direction. So you have a hard time shooting them, and it's the same sight lines as the rest of your team. So if you had actually gone to the high ground here, not only would it take more resources for their diva or whoever to come over and attack you, because they have to either use an ability to get up or walk all the way around this way, right? Like that's pretty hard to do. That takes a lot of time and resources, and then the rest of your team can fall down and attack them here. And then you're basically cross-firing them, right? It's hard to block shots as a Reinhardt that are coming in from here and from here, because the Rhine barrier only covers like that, right? Like it's more of a straight line, but you get what I mean. And then so you can only block this way from your team pushing in, or this way, which is where you are, which is hard. So I think going on this other high ground would have been probably a little bit of a stronger position. Yeah. See what I mean? Like, right, you can barely see the enemy team. It's nice that your team has rotated over here, but you still don't have the same kind of crossfire, right? Because you didn't start on the high ground up top, right? Right, like at the very beginning of the match, because you didn't start here looking for the wrong color. Start here to scout out what they were doing. Right? You couldn't see that they were moving across and then going up this way. If you were even over here, you could see that they were moving this way. You could have told your team immediately. They could have prepared for it. And then they would have gone this way. Your team could have come down, and then you could shoot at them this way, right? Because that Rhine, where we are in the VOD, is that's not the button. The Rhine is standing here, and you were here, and you can barely see anyone. Versus if you were here, right? This is free reign. It's just easy shooting. So the sight lines, I think, are not in your favor, which makes it really hard.
I have 10 frames. I can't do anything right now. My game is literally...
So yeah, and they have them back to you, but the diva's on you, which is a little unfortunate.
How do you pause?
Control Shift equal.
Halfway to ult.
Hold on.
Nice one.
Wait, what happened?
My shit's fucked up.
The pause.
Here you
Does that go away?
And then...
Okay.
If someone wants to go Mercy.
So you're switching to Pharah here. We take a look at their comp. They're running goats, which is like Pharah's like a decent pick against goats, right? You can shoot people from above, and they don't really have any way to contest you besides their D.Va, and maybe there's Zarya, and maybe there's Zen, right? Because you're up high, and it's really hard for those people to contest you. But D.Va has boosters and defensive matrix, so your goal is to try and want to like stay really high and shoot in and just hit some splash damage, right? You don't necessarily have to kill people, but if you deal damage, you can get your ult, and then you can do something like take out the D.Va or anyone else, right? So let's see what you do.
Yeah, we could do that.
See if this works a little bit better.
I'm fine with Ghost.
Okay, no, I need to reset my computer.
Oh my god.
So yeah, here you're basically playing Junkrat, right? Like what is it that playing Pharah? Why would you not play Junkrat here, right, instead of Pharah? If you're gonna be spamming down like that, you just went into the air, so this is gonna change. But like, right, you'd in theory want to be
We gotta push forward.
above this thing here and shooting down on him like that, right? Because Pharah can just always hover flying in the air for a really, really, really long time. It's not hard to do it either. It's possible you just don't know that you can hover for forever. But having that airtime is really good. Right now you could be a Junkrat who could be down here just shooting at them with the barrier in front of you, which is just as safe as what you're doing, and potentially more damage because you have your throwable mines that you can also use to like disrupt everybody. So being up high and shooting down on them is really good. Okay, you got a pick. Awesome.
So Zarya's low.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. The boop on the Rhine separates them.
Zarya's low.
You're playing really passively here, which is interesting because you know that their D.Va isn't here. You haven't seen her in a hot minute, and there's no way they can contest you when you're all the way up there. And so if you were to be more aggressive, you can go in. You could deal more damage because you can get closer to them, and that's exactly what you would want in a situation.
Test point.
Get that Zen.
Now you're on the ground.
Pretty fire right now.
All right, they escape. It's unlucky, but at least you guys won the fight, stopped them from capping, which is good. So being here is okay, right? You're just looking around. If you don't want to fly around, you're really loud when you do. So you're sort of quiet and stealthy. So it's your job to be scouting right now, because you're the only one who can be close to them in terms of like a horizontal way, like right in like a walking path sort of a way, but still be equally like far away from them because you have height. And so when you do that, you can scout them. You can do poke damage by shooting at them, which puts pressure on their healers to not get booped off by your concussion mine on the bridge, either of the bridges, or just take damage and they have to make sure everyone stays healed and people try and not take damage. You can tell your team where they're going, and your team can react to that. I don't think I've heard you calm either. It's possible your mic was just like not recording, right? That happens. So yeah, right now you're just basically playing Junkrat Pharah, right? The amount of value you get is the same here. Because you want to be playing so you can hit them, right? You don't necessarily have to be killing them, but if you're hitting them, you're gonna get more ult charge. You're gonna put more pressure on them rather than trying to just like hit their 2000 HP shield all the time. I'm not sure why we used dragons here. It wasn't like called or zone, like used zone.
Who's on? It's on somebody.
Here, you know they're super grouped up. And you can tell your team, hey, this would be a big barrage right here. Or you could say, oh, I have barrage for our grav, which you haven't hit tab, so I can't tell what ultimates are available or how close anyone is, right? But if you can tell your team to force them to kind of like move forward, or hey, when they move forward, I can ult their backline, which would be huge, right? They're already down one. The D.Va's there.
Do you have
Yeah. So you escape from the D.Va. That's good.
Enemy health bars on for Zen?
No.
That's not how that works. Show enemy health bars. That's not a setting, I'm pretty sure. Like guaranteed. That's like you always see
That helps a lot.
the
'Cause it shows
health bar
exactly
in the
how much
bottom
health they
right.
have if you have Discord on them.
They're gonna push high ground.
Yep.
Don't push into him. Don't push.
Okay.
Can't see you.
So this is very
Can't
interesting.
see either of you.
There was a comment made where the support couldn't see them. That was a great call. Ooh, this could be a big barrage. Okay, so you super hesitated in order to do that play, right? Look, we can count in seconds how long it takes you to think of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. At most 4 seconds, right? Or 3. If you had done it earlier when they were all grouped up,
We can't see.
like here. If you had done it here, right, you knew they were walking out from underneath you and going out here. If you had instantly ulted, they would have had to turn and DM you. Their Reinhardt probably would have turned to try and block it. The rest of your team could have dealt damage, right? Like you could have theoretically saved your hog at this point because you could have killed everybody. But right, that now you were down 2 and then you ulted.
Calling out the lack of line of sight.
You get
You do not.
1 and then you get someone out of mech, which is still good, but is it enough to win the fight? Probably not, right? Because they got another pick on you. So you're basically doing a 1v3. Another person dies.
We can.
So it's really hard to do
Can't push
much.
into them with this comp. We just have to
No.
wait for them. We have to play range.
Okay, so you're all playing back. This is good because you don't have a lot of resources. Your Rhine gets pinned somehow. I'm not quite sure, but happens. Right, you can always counterpin to stop him, or the Roadhog should hook in order to prevent the
They're coming up
charge.
high ground. D.Va's on the bridge.
Yeah, so you're playing low. Good job getting up into the air. Not sure what the boop does,
You might wanna
but
switch
it was a
Zarya
good
again,
attempt,
throw
right?
someone
Like
down the way.
I kind of understand trying to push him back. Yes, this is more like where you want to be. This is the angle, right? Because the Rhine shield is tiny this way. We saw it for a moment for the brig. Yeah, here. I want to change it by the frame.
She's
They're all
discorded.
purple.
D.Va's
purple.
discorded.
Good dodge.
I'm dead. You're down minions.
I'm trying to see a good example of when
I'll try to
the Rhine
contest.
shield looked
I'm
tiny.
gonna use Dano. I'm gonna switch to Mercy.
The boop almost saved your hog. That's super unfortunate that it didn't quite get there.
Yeah, we definitely need
Good
a
job
Zarya.
backing
Yeah,
out,
we're not living
right?
alone.
Because your team was losing. You didn't wanna be picked.
I-
So here
I
they're
think the
pushing
damage
up
is
really
fine, we just
far.
need a front line
Huge boop. Huge boop.
Alright, good getting back. Try not to go into a position where the 3 of you could be hammered like that. As in, like, push back.
Yeah, the getting hammered
And,
part is kind of unlucky.
Mark, should I get a little more high ground? I know there's
Yeah.
not too much
So
right.
so here, right, you're playing really far back, and so this Rhine shield looks like it's about that big, right? When he's standing there holding it up, and or even bigger, really, right? Like it's a massive fucking square. So if you were up higher, you change the angle so then it looks more like that. It squashes down, and so that it makes it easier to spam down and hit the targets.
right now.
Yeah.
But try to keep that.
See, look at
Gotta
that. Look at
watch
that.
forward.
It's huge. If you were to jump up, you would be able to see more and spam more, and you'd be safer too.
Get your ult. Get your ult.
broken.
Those are low.
Good pressure on the Zen. He can't
Yeah, the
really
brick's
move
dead.
forward to support his team.
They wasted shatter.
Dead, Ryan
Good
dead.
kill.
Push
Good
up,
hit
push
on the
up.
Lucio.
Part.
I can see you.
Lucio's low. Everyone's so low.
They're all purple. I'm reloading. I can't hear you.
Okay, they ran. They
So
ran.
if you had communicated that their Lucio is like super low, right, and went left
that
here,
was-
your team could have helped find him, kill him, and that'd
that
be a
was
huge
Lucio.
stagger,
No, he ran,
right?
he ran, I saw him.
I'm switching to on Mercy.
So I would think you'd be looking for a ooh, you flashed it for just a split second. Awesome. See, you want to hit tab so you know what your team has and what each person is kind of thinking. So here, a plan might be to use Grav and Barrage, right? Because you have those two ultimates, which is really good. That's really important.
Okay,
Those
I
are
got
two.
Raph. Do you
That's like a
have,
team wipe
No,
combo,
50%.
which is super
Divas
good.
won. Briggs won.
So
Use grab.
So they use Transcendence. This is really big because now you have a free, like, if you get your Grav off without it being eaten, they don't have any defensive support ults besides Lucio's, and then they'd use two. But you burn through both of these ultimates really fast. Plus your team doing damage. Yeah, so you should Barrage here. Just instantly.
Nice.
And you did. You got it. It worked out.
Hold on, no,
Was that my Discord? No, it wasn't. Okay. Confused me. I got baited.
I was holding my shatter.
Yeah, your Reinhardt probably should have stepped forward to try and save you.
It's worth it, there is, honestly.
Yeah,
No point not to.
I didn't realize.
Okay, so what's the plan now? Right, we don't have any ults because we used Earth Shatter as well.
It was huge.
Yeah, if you all call it out, I'll try to get bubble on you.
So they're going in. Right, you're playing really passively.
Left side.
Half HP.
She's discorded.
Oh,
Someone-
big. Okay.
Diva
And then everyone should be playing aggressive in order to get the kills, right? Boop is good because you give her team more time to attack.
Get run. Okay.
Got him.
Leave him.
Nice shot, Critter. Good.
No, my average energy is not good.
So spamming
Big
here,
scrub.
I get you trying to like deal damage and get ult charge,
Stats
but
matter.
they have Zarya, right? So she's gonna be taking advantage of you spamming rockets like that, and she's gonna get a ton of energy charge,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
really
they
bad.
all-
She's
they
super
try to-
threatening when she has high charge.
They have beat. They haven't used
I almost
it.
have
They
the shatter.
rallied last fight, I think.
So here you want to be up, yep,
Them's
and you
like-
can be aggressive here. You see that everything's low. You can push up and hide over the rooftop here,
They're
Oh,
all
you back
all
off. which is okay actually because they used ults and your Ryan's down.
I have
Yep, I'm
Valkyrie.
at 90. I'm at 90.
I don't
So
know
that's
how I
big. That's a problem.
got knocked down by that.
Yeah. So I think a better position for you would have actually to have been like up here or up here. Or, like even, if you really could, you could be up there. And then that way you can ult, hit a bunch of people, and kill them. There are divas there, which is kind of risky. So I can understand that. But you being here doesn't apply pressure that you would want to try and get out of Pharah. I hope this tiny line shows up well on the recording. I'm gonna just make it bigger in case it didn't. Sorry if it didn't look good earlier.
Yep, I'm at 90. I'm at 90.
I don't know how I
Yeah,
got knocked
see if
down by that.
you could have ulted there,
Yeah,
would have
yeah,
been
do
super
something.
good. Big kill on the Zen.
Oh my god.
Oh, she shouldn't have gotten
Go,
that.
Granny, go!
I can't touch.
Playing up high is good.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Letting your
You
team
let me
contest the
res
cart
that.
is what you would want. Big is unfortunate you had to reload. Oh, the dragon was like just there in time. You killing the Zarya. I'm pretty sure that wasn't my Discord because I left it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was such a clutch.
So
Harold, don't do
you're
that.
just waiting,
Don't
you're
do that.
spamming.
Strat.
So they're all in a big
Back up,
clump
Ryan,
here,
back up,
which
back
is
up, back up.
exactly what you would want. Your Reinhardt got a big pin, so if you could
Back up.
support your Reinhardt, like you could have used your concussion mine to get in there.
Huge block.
No, this
Witspeed,
fight's
you
going your way
gotta cleanse
anyway.
your Ryan.
Bubble me, I'll heal that. I can't res that. Never mind.
See, I would have considered using your ultimate here to secure the point, right? Because to secure the team fight, because everyone's there. You may be up people, but everyone's really staggered, and now you're down two. There was like a perfect opportunity to
Barrage,
use your barrage and not really get punished, especially because the diva moved away.
Yeah, she's still out of mech.
I'm doing this.
Maybe not now.
See, and then we ulted here, right in front of the diva, and she just DM'd you, and then you got shot. Right, she also
I
body
really don't
blocked some
understand
of
I'm
it.
dying through this pillar.
Tracer for the recontest is a
Oh,
good
they're leaking
idea.
off.
You somehow get res off
Still
again. What a
stalling.
bloody miracle.
Yep, I got that bubble on you.
I think you're not comfortable with
Hold on,
Pharah.
Valk this fight.
That's what I'm getting out of
Pass
this.
yours if you can.
'Cause you're worried that you're gonna get destroyed somehow.
Slow.
I just
Which is
about got
understandable.
Dragon. If you can stall a little bit longer.
I almost have dragon again.
That was it. That's all I had.
So I think a stall pick would have made ton of sense here. You get slammed because everyone's shooting at you, right? Makes sense. Defeat.
What was their
Apparently
time?
there's a part 1 to that. Did not see it.
Room so-
Okay. There we go. Was that quick play settings?
Hey!
So that's messed up.
Welcome to the wild. Spencer! Not allowed.
They're talking to you. I don't think to know any of this. Okay. Rialto attack. It's pretty interesting. You're playing Widow
Something
again.
Real fast so I don't accidentally fucking emote in the middle of the game again.
Yeah, could you not do that?
Okay, this is a good position. You get to see where their team is. You get to shoot shots and be safe. But the only thing you have to really be scared of is a volley from the Zen.
They have a Lucio who's
This
going
flank
behind
is
us,
good,
super
especially
low.
since your team is pressuring from that side, right? So you're
Give us
gonna
that
get anyone who
advantage,
pushes out. Now, being this far forward is a little
Divas
scary, right? Because if your
Divas.
team,
Ryan's Discord?
if they push back on you, it's hard.
I'm reloading.
I'm trying.
Kill Ryan, he's alone. Ryan's alone.
He's
Ryan,
super low.
Ryan,
He's out.
Ryan.
Wow, they didn't kill you. You
Lucio's down.
are super lucky.
Where are you? Where are you?
I don't hear any call for heal. Oh, okay. Your mic is definitely just muted because they asked where you were when. Okay, that's kind of unfortunate that I don't have your
Communicate your
comms.
ropes a little bit more so Haro knows when he can push and not.
Gotcha.
What do I can't see you?
Okay, Ryan shield's broken.
I like the flank. High ground would have been preferable.
Give us on me,
Big
help,
pick.
help.
So that's
She's
super
Discord?
good.
You have orb on you, don't worry.
The Diva's discorded,
ready.
which is good, right? She's just free ult charge for your
Ryan's
Zarya
Discord?
if you can hit her.
Oh, get Brig, get Brig.
Big brig
Nice,
pick.
nice pop,
Sorry,
nice pop,
Discord?
nice pop.
Push up, push up, push up.
I normally wouldn't support being like a widow on the low
super low,
ground
he's
most of the
Discord.
time, but you're killing him dead.
Okay,
Nice.
Everyone's dead.
So good stuff. A
Are you
really
gonna
good
close
spot
down
for
the
Widow.
trans?
Now, especially since you cleared them all out, is they're gonna have to go if they're going to recontest at all. The enemy team is going to go out through here and then go here, right? Very predictable path, right? You can make it really hard on them by standing in like one of two spots. Right, if you stand here, you can snipe shooting anything that's like in here that you wanted to, right? Like this is also still really tiny still. Anywhere in here, right? Like this is all yours. So the Reinhardt's gonna push forward. They're gonna push forward really fast. You can shoot them, maybe get a pick. they're gonna have to stand out in here, maybe get a pick. It's a little hard because this railing is an absolute bitch, but right, it's a possibility. You can always stand like right on top of these in order to get some extra height, which is, you know, it's if you can do it, it's awesome. If not, right, like it's not the biggest end of the world. The other spot you can pick is up here above the point, right? Because then the D.Va definitely has to come and contest you versus other people can come and contest you here by just like going this way and shooting at you. And if you stand here, your pressure is with your team, which is good only because you don't want them to move, right? Like, if someone pops out early from around this corner here because they're coming out to contest, right? You can shoot in here better than you can shoot in there from over here, right? Because this stuff kind of like gets in the way. And it's just sort of like a smaller angle. You're looking through a door that looks like that instead of a door that looks like that. That's not the erase button. Yeah, but if you do stand up top here, even though you're probably safer from a lot of things, your ability to get a pick is less, but you put more pressure on the Rein and the D.Va and Zarya, because you could shoot them in the head, and that would suck. Yeah, okay, just erase.
I don't know. I'm not
Keep
that
them
good.
from-
Okay,
keep
so
them
you're
from
standing
grabbing.
here. It's really good. I forgot where you're
Set up
standing.
for an ult, like a Pharah or like a Reinhardt shatter. Just
D.Va's Discord?
Okay, so yeah, D.Va's discorded. It's good. They didn't recontest their
Just trying to
D.Va.
get used to doing this a little
Prioritized
bit more,
killing
just-
you over touching the point, and that is exactly what you would want, right? Like, if you didn't pull the resources away, it's really good. Their D.Va just fed so
And you
much
can see there's
ult
like a
charge
corner
to you.
situation happening, and he wants to move forward.
Good angle, good angle. So you're forcing them to back up.
Their D.Va's good at eating.
Yep, that's good. That's good. Good positioning. I don't know if the ult charge is necessary here. Actually, no. The ult was good. The ult was good, right? Because you guys are coming around the corner and knowing where they are is really good.
Zarya's gonna grab here.
This positioning is fine,
I don't have
right?
my
This is
gun.
just like a funky area, I think, for Widow.
Lucio dead,
You guys
Lucio
are
dead.
super-
Brick one, brick one.
I got you.
Brick
I'm
dead, brick
behind.
dead.
You barely live again. Their D.Va has to be very upset about that.
Is Ryan still behind?
He's dead.
He just killed himself, yeah.
Ryan jumped off.
Kurt, Zion Kurt.
Are we? How low are we? Okay.
Harrow,
We're
I
down a
saved
lot.
you there for like.
Okay,
Healing
get your ball on Mark.
This is my only regret.
He's been about half health for about. So always try to have a ball on someone at least, just to make sure that you keep
Covering
them
the
up,
area
regardless if
you've
they don't
already
have
gained
damage.
is good.
Always
I
put your
thought
ball
it
on the
was-
person you
yeah.
expect to get damage next.
Hey,
So like right now,
Get right.
who's gonna get damage next? There you go.
No.
Good job.
Ryan's Discord?
That Ryan's just pushing me.
Big shatter.
No!
I'm not.
Thought I
okay,
could stop
not-
the
yeah.
advance.
Okay, I'm dead.
And then you're out. I'd be really surprised.
we should
Okay,
follow.
yeah, I was gonna say if you lived here,
That's
it'd
good. So,
be.
yeah, so I can't just make sure that
surprising.
you always try to predict
Yeah.
who is gonna take damage next. Make
But can we use...
an orb on them at least, just so that if they do take damage, they have that healing
Hey,
right away.
No offense, but can we save the comments until after because I'm trying to focus and it's really distracting me. I'm sorry.
It's between fights right now. That's okay.
Are we going Nano Reinhardt or what's
Alright,
the plan?
sorry.
Yeah, we should.
Shatter
Okay.
first and then... Oh, well, you don't have the Shatter.
Make
never
sure
mind.
you call it so I can bubble. Back up, Ryan, a little bit.
Your Ryan's a little far to the left.
this
He
way.
gets.
You're just getting
She was
solo
on me.
ulted the whole time, aren't
grabbed.
you? Holy
Oh, god
shit.
damn
Ryan's
it.
dead, Ryan's dead.
That was a
Ryan's
good pin by the Ryan.
dead. Fuck Steva, fuck Steva, fuck Steva.
Dude.
I'm gonna die to this, maybe. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
let's-
what?
reset,
Kills you.
reset. Hey, guys,
We
let's-
That's what happens when you don't have a
let's take
Reinhardt.
high ground, let's take
I
high
think
ground, guys.
switching off Widow's
Sorry,
probably the
here,
best
what'd you
bet
say,
here.
Walter?
Whether or not Reaper's a better
Sure, yeah.
choice, I don't know.
Fuck.
Yeah.
D.Va. Yeah.
Raider.
It's playing goats. On a goats.
Oh, Well, we have a trance, so I don't really want to lose that right now.
Yeah, let's go high ground. Right.
Yeah, I can go Lucio after this.
Okay, well we have
That's
someone in
fine.
front, so just sit here. Just sit here.
They're Ryan's.
Rotations.
So you guys are all moving together, which is good.
Shatter.
Big push. You push them all off the high ground, so your team is able to take the space. Transcendence is forced, but you do lose your brig. It's a big shatter. There's no target focus here.
Hey, back up. I can't see you.
Back up.
That was a good escape by you.
That trance.
I just stay hiding over here. Yeah. Good.
To fight out.
Diva's Discord, she's half and
Yeah,
Mac.
let's say I'm
Right above us.
just going to.
Okay, I got grab.
Kill him. Focus the Ryan.
Get Ryan.
Say I'm.
Right above.
Was this planned?
Diva.
Was the plan to grab bomb?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna engage
Okay,
with it.
call speed boost.
Diva's Discord, she's half and
Yeah,
Mac.
let's say I'm
Right above us.
just going to.
Okay, I got grab.
I got Grav.
Kill
He
him,
said
kill him,
it
kill him.
after
Focus
he
the Ryan,
used,
focus the Ryan,
right before he used it. It's a little rough for you to follow up, especially when you're shattered.
Discord.
Oh, I got rally for next fight, if there is one. If you guys die fast, we can.
Yeah, you want to just reset here, right? Like
You
the
guys are
fact that
down
you
a lot.
got that Diva automatic is really good.
Goodbye.
Is Lucio on point? He's Discord.
Okay, Ryan, play safe until we get there.
Yep.
We're up 2, but he still got played. Yeah, definitely.
The Ryan's dead, but I
Yep.
killed him. He's about to
Okay,
come back.
Okay, go.
Go in, they're down.
Yeah, he's here.
He's
Okay,
Discord.
focus Ryan. Go. Push Ryan. Focus Ryan, he's down.
Big beat.
Huge,
You
huge,
blocked
huge,
the
huge,
shatter
huge.
Nice
too?
block.
Focus Ryan.
Massive.
Good
Drake's
bar, good
Discord
bar.
behind.
It's a little unlucky that you got stuck in the door, but
Let me help
you're.
on that.
I don't think you played Diva that much, so I'm not surprised.
Get
Focus
side,
is
Zen,
that- get the
Zen.
Zen. You looked at him 3 times.
Keep pushing.
There
keep
you go.
pushing.
Okay. Taking space is good here.
I swear I heard someone
You can take and control the space. You get free
Yeah,
cart
I
space,
got grab, I got
free cart movement up to like this point, right? Like if you hold this corner here and you can keep your team there and prevent them from pushing up on you, you get free cart push all the way up till that point. Eating that's really good.
Push.
I wish it was more well communicated what the plan was
Right, Dan, you're
before
right.
a given fight started.
Play safe.
And I'm dead.
Oh,
Get out. Let's try and get a reset. We're gonna engage with our Lucio and go straight into a trance. Unless they haven't. Do you think they have their?
They
their
have
yeah.
they
yeah,
have
that's
grab
what
and they definitely have shatters right now. So
This is the first time we've heard any form of shot calling or like ult tracking, right? Like this is really good. Knowing what the enemy team has and knowing what you have is really, really good because you can figure out how it is that you should play or like what your win condition is, right? One of your win conditions for knowing they have grab is you eating it, or your Lucio or your Zen, whichever one, not both, preferably at the same time. That'd be really annoying. And then you live through it, right? Like that's how you would counteract a push like that.
We'll try and bait out the shatter then. Go right side staircase.
Front side.
Oh, you're right, Fire, you're
Over
right.
here, over left.
That's
left.
left.
Oh, well.
He doesn't know his directions.
Oh, fuck.
Let's go.
Fuck.
Now I'm split.
Now we're by
versus-
ourselves.
I'm off the cliff.
Goodbye, Ryan.
Okay. This was just a clusterfuck. It is really unlucky here. You don't die, which is really good.
the warriors in there. Get out. Oh yeah.
Coming back, I have a shadow.
Right, it's the end of the map. You have to touch. It's a big transcendence to save you. You
Like that.
big eat, big eat.
Ryan's Discord behind. He's happy. He's happy. He's happy.
Ryan's dead. Ryan's dead.
Right, when the Zarya's down like that, they could be free headshots.
now?
I don't. That's like kind of hard, but you know,
Good
every
Zarya
little
over
bit
here.
counts.
Brig is
Lucio.
dead. Brig is
Great,
dead.
Demon's
Wow.
Discord. She's half in mech. Oh shit.
Reinhardt blocked it. That's good. Good shooting.
Win and kill the Ryan. Kill the Ryan.
You almost have bomb here. You flashed
Kill
it
the Ryan.
twice. Okay, so you're the only one whose ult is coming up, besides the Zen again. Your Zen already almost has ult. That's awesome. I would say the best thing you could do, right, is to throw it kind of behind them, so they have to do something about it, like move behind a pillar, which is very predictable for you and your team, or they have to turn around to block it, and then you get to shoot at them for free with all of your teammates.
I
He's
almost
on
have a
Dis-
shatter.
He's Discord. He's Discord.
Where's the Ryan? Ryan a court. Ryan a court. Ryan dead. Ryan dead.
Nice bomb.
Brig now?
Good
Diva's
Diva.
low. Diva's low. Diva's low. Focus Diva.
You do more damage when you're in
Flash
mech,
your
but
one.
you get the kill
Diva's low. Diva's low.
anyway.
Diva's low.
He's out.
Popping off. You just needed a warm-up game. Nice, nice.
We had it in overtime. No. Could have taken that.
Chase call out.
Right. It's a win.
I want to see the next map.
Give.
Work.
Five.
Can you?
No, let me
Who
play
do you even play,
Zarya.
Greg? Good.
We could always triple tank McCree as well.
This
Does
is
that sound like
definitely
working out?
not all the same people from that one I watched, that scrim.
Do I play as Reaper? Or you?
Okay, speed boost.
And let's go.
Good bubbles. You just have to play
Yes,
really
they're
passive
hard.
now that you
thought we were gonna go in.
used both of them, right? Like, so you don't have any damage mitigation.
I'm reloading. I'm healing.
Tell your Ryan when you have bubble is always really good. So this is a really
Barrier
big
broke,
brawl.
barrier broke.
It's a little rough.
Ryan's hurt so bad.
It's unfortunate
I'm
that they
putting
got
everything I've got
control
on
of the
this.
point first, because it's hard to push
Gotta
in
walk
like
in.
this. Ooh, that was really
Man.
unlucky. Big
just walk
nade,
out
big
that
nade.
Ryan's hurt bad.
We're good. I'm reloading.
Let's go hide this next point, and I'm gonna whatever this material is
I have a
called.
barrier. I have a barrier.
Fun fact real quick. The way the Rhine barrier works along with the Rhine shield and the barrier from Zarya, the way they line up is if you look at it sideways, right? Like this is Rhine's shield, and then he sort of stands here with a big shield, and then Reinhardt. When the Zarya bubbles him, the bubble sticks out slightly. Like that, right? But when you're looking at it, right, it's only like that big. It's pretty tiny looking. But if you shoot it, she still gets ult charge or energy. So if you shoot the corners, right, she doesn't get nearly as much ult charge, especially since you are already really charged, right? You deal more damage, so then she's gonna get more energy and all that.
Back up, back up, back up.
Back up.
Get
What's the
Ryan,
one?
get
Run,
Ryan,
run, run,
get
run,
Ryan.
run, 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 run.
The Ryan's feeding.
Dead.
Get brick.
We're dead,
So you
we're
have
dead, we're
grav
dead.
here.
Go, go,
Go to point,
push,
go to point.
push.
I don't know if
Kill
it's
Zarya,
needed.
kill
It,
Zarya,
it
kill
shouldn't
Zarya,
be.
kill Zarya.
You guys are all critical.
If you need to confirm the team fight, though, it's always good.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, focus Zarya. Focus Zarya.
Good
Nice, nice.
focus on the Zen. I think that was the right decision.
Okay, Ryan's
Even
coming
though
back to
another
point.
call was made,
Go, go, go.
right?
Yeah,
Like
chase
you
him
were
down,
already
chase him
on
down.
him.
We've
and
gotta
he
get
was
point,
low.
guys.
Your high charge.
That's
Someone just
I
down.
know,
Being
that's
this
why we left you
aggressive
there.
without already having the point is
I know, I got
interesting.
scared too.
Okay. I'll try to get my ult fast. They're going height, I think.
I think you
They're
probably
main,
want
they're
to try
main.
and bait them in, and then use your grav.
Mine's
You gotta watch for DM. Second she puts it down, grav. Yes, yeah.
I can do it.
Back out, back out, back out.
This is a good attempt.
Go to the point. Go to the point.
Help. No.
He's asleep. Don't wake him up.
Oh my
Look, it's
god.
Just
Right.
feeding off that Zarya, which is really, really
Sorry
good.
on me. Sorry on me. Sorry on me. Turn around,
run,
please.
run, run, run.
I'm dead.
I'm gonna go Pharaoh.
Yeah, everyone did.
You're doing your job. You're doing really well.
I'm gonna
I
use
can
this
Beyblade
on
into
the
it.
Switch.
And
God damn it.
Unfortunate.
he charged me out of it.
They
I
use-
couldn't do anything there.
But they use a lot of ults there.
I want to see that again. So you used your bubble. Okay.
And
God damn it.
So no, the only way that your bubbles were good based off of the knowledge that you had, but if people were like ult tracking, right, you could know that they were going for a grav bomb combo, and you could have saved your shield, your bubbles, excuse me, in order to block that. Because right, your bubble, you can't. No one behind you would get hit by it, and no one, like you basically just eat it, right? Like you eat all of the damage, and you get a bunch of ult charge, and then you could save your Ryan from being pinned.
It's unfortunate.
he
but
charged me out
I
of
think
it.
you made the right
But they use
decision
a lot
based
of
off
ults
of
there.
like what you knew.
Yeah, and they used Zen ult.
So you guys have a
Do,
bunch of
like-
ults coming up.
So we're.
I think
That's
a call for Beyblade would be really good, which is Reaper, and then speed boost by Lucio with a nano on the Reaper, right? Just shred through a bunch of them. They probably have Transcendence, or Transcendence is coming up, I would suspect. Yeah, so knowing that would be the plan, right? You would want to definitely focus the diva down, because she's the one who's going to make this a really, really, really rough time, right? Because she's gonna just eat everything that the Reaper does. So since you don't have a Zen, you can't discord her. So you have to do as much work on her as you can, and so should your other Pharah.
The 5 people.
So we're good then. That's,
Let's try. Grab Beyblade, grab Beyblade.
Get ready
Bubble,
for it.
bubble, bubble.
Grav Beyblade. That's 3 ultimates to win 1. You are running out of
Do it
time.
now, do it now.
I'm high ground.
Oh
They're
my
all
gosh.
purple. I got. That's so unlucky. I'm not. No
Run.
me heals.
What are you doing?
Oh.
Melting them.
Okay, well,
You
I missed.
Basically won this
Hey,
fight
Tara,
for your team.
Zen's won.
You guys have numbers. You just stay on point.
Saying that you're up is really good. I would have liked to have someone been calling that earlier. Just pressuring Reinhardt, usual sorts of things.
Yeah, I have ult now.
Who's I? I don't know who that is.
Probably when they're pushing in.
Glad they called it out though.
Barrier.
Hey,
I'm an
just
ult
right
now. Can
behind.
you see me?
Yo, Brigand Zarya behind on
Bring it
me.
You have no.
Hello?
You have no
Huge. Really good bubble on that.
It's
It was risky because you had to move forward in order to hit it,
Hold the point, hold the point, hold the point.
Yeah, if you can grab.
but it was good. Good bubble.
Can you touch?
It's up to you, Lucio.
Oh.
Using barriers.
Nice, go, 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 go.
Go, 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 go. Go on point. Go on point. Go on point. Go on point.
Unlucky you bumped your head.
Oh, dude, I had shield up.
Oh my god, the sleep.
Zen's low. No, fucking break, dude.
Oh,
That's
huge.
We win. We win. We
Nice.
win. We win.
Nah, if you don't get bomb.
We win.
Ooh.
No, she's
don't
made
think
it.
you guys won that, but that was
Oh,
close. It's really unfortunate that you couldn't quite get that bubble off last second for whoever that was, but it was still good.
I was getting picked at the beginning of like every fight. The Zarya and the Brig.
Let's just run 2-2-2. So.
Okay,
you
there
just
we
pick
go.
whatever-
Against right, top right. Yep.
Just play on point. We need to play range.
Okay, yeah, go point, go point, go point.
I launched Rhine.
Break slow, break slow.
Rhine's one.
They just.
Break slow,
focus.
break slow.
Good focus on that diva. So right now you guys are
I'm
even.
at
Whoever's
six.
dead should have said that. Now you're down 2.
Just back
So-
out,
They have
back
control. They have
Back
control, they
out
have
was a
control.
good call.
Yeah.
Let's go to this.
Yeah.
Bubbling Ryan was the right idea. I don't think he was quite ready for it. Good job using your bubble to get charged.
Like, he's going
They
up,
are
man.
probably close to shatter. You can tell by how far he is playing up. He definitely
Forward.
has it.
Cheered.
Dude,
Hooks
do
are
the
run,
Zarya
hooks are run, 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 run,
Get
run, run, run,
get
run.
get run.
It's real low.
Nice.
Good kill.
Point, T-bomb, point, T-bomb, point. Zarya, Zarya, Zarya.
Good
Zarya,
focus.
Zarya, point, Zarya, point, Zarya, point.
She's half.
What you just did right there? Were you able to hear what the target was? Turn around, see them, and then stay on them? Even though there was another target that would have been easy to kill, is really, really good, right? Because it was a baby diva. Baby diva is not that threatening. You can just kill her again later. But that Zarya, who was high charged, was going to be getting more ult charge the longer she was standing there shooting your team and could have killed somebody, which would have been a pretty annoying stagger. So that was super good. He's hiding behind the pole.
We could just damage in it.
Yeah, I've got shattered, but
We have
Using that bubble to maintain your high charge is
Well,
we
good.
have 3
I'm sitting
healers,
out
and
here.
IKEA has been 3/4 health for a minute.
It's unlucky that your healers are slacking a little. You should be calling that you're looking for Grav here, right? Like, it's really big.
We shot it.
Ooh.
IG.
I kind of agree with what you did there, except
go
for I
for
think the
Ryan here.
timing was just a little
Where's
bit
the-
off.
where's
He's one.
I think the plan wasn't clear
Sorry,
yet
sorry,
again.
sorry.
You knew that tech. I'm so happy.
Good Altara.
nice, go.
Just getting that last little bit of ult charge, you
Go back
greedy,
point, go
greedy
back
man.
point, go back
But
Group up.
appreciated.
We're fine. Don't worry about it.
But I wanted ult for killing Diva.
They were all resetting.
Oh, I
You're
got
all on
shatter
fire.
again. Dang.
Let me know when they're coming, where they're coming from, and when. I'm gonna
Yeah, Colas
throw a
is
tire
going
behind
under.
them.
So yeah, oh yeah. If I was on the Zarya, and they would be
Listen,
like,
if I
"Hey."
was on the Zarya,
Okay, they have shatter. They have shatter. They have shatter.
Good call. Good call. Are these notifications
They
you?
have shatter. They have shatter.
Yes. Let's say I
Yeah,
hardly
they
get
got
any
time, they got
notification
time.
sounds.
They have shatter, definitely.
Using the bubble to get
One,
charge.
two.
I disagree with that actually.
Tire.
I
They have
think
shatter, definitely.
even though you got a lot of ult charge, it's really good. Or energy charge, that's really nice. But because they have shatter, right? Your bubble is really, really important in order to block it. So by using your bubble on your Reinhardt in order to get charge, right, you can put more pressure on the Reinhardt but if their Reinhardt now has an opportunity to hit shatter if your Reinhardt puts the bubble down or puts his shields down. So you can't cover up as a little bit of your Rein's, aggressiveness. And so that opportunity is really scary. And since you're not standing behind him now, you're standing off to the side to try and get damage. You can't block it with your own personal bubble. Now, granted, the timing of that's really difficult, but right, like getting more charge for such a high risk, I think is an iffy play. But I understand that you're trying to get a bunch of stuff done.
Go, 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 go.
Your Rhineland's a huge shatter, so actually it works out fine.
I don't know where that is.
Sorry, domain.
Is Steven's behind?
Do you guys have a Lucio? Okay, if you had a Lucio, there definitely should have been, on speed pushing up, right? Because you guys have a point. If you hold here, you force them to take so much time to go to point. You force them to run into you.
Diva, get on point. Diva touching.
I'm pinned.
Rein's one. Rein's dead.
Big kill on the Reinhardt.
Oh, I'm down.
So you're kind of all over the place here. You don't know. Do you just not know what to shoot? I kind of understand.
Yeah, back out.
I think if you had stayed on that Zen, it would have been the best play. But by that point, everything was pretty much over.
I want to engage with Grav and Tire here.
Let's Grav Tire.
Good call.
They're playing close again, so.
Let's go server.
Saying when you're looking for Grav.
Ignore them and go hard.
Go right.
Grab now.
No.
Having someone else say Grav now is really annoying. Because they can't actually see what's happening.
Lucia's alone.
Ah, I got bubbled. Fuck me.
Funneling all my damage into you guys.
Diva.
All my healing.
Run.
There you could have technically been a little bit more efficient with your bubble, right? Like you waited around the corner, you didn't have it on cooldown, right? And then you popped around the corner, used your bubble, you got ult charge. I think that was the right play, but if you had moved closer to the the bomb, you could have been dealing damage that whole time, used your bubble just before it exploded, and prevented a lot of area from being like dangerous for your team, right? In case someone were to accidentally think they were around the corner, but they weren't really, or they would have died to it anyway, and then you would have had more ult charge. They would have been lower, and everything would have been safer. You can do that because they don't have any stuns.
Go point.
Lucio.
Thank you.
Good target focus there.
Oh shit.
Cap point.
They have a Hammond.
There's a Tracer here.
Trace on point.
Big tracking.
Ball on point.
There you go.
Any heals on point.
Good tracking.
I was
Sombra.
healing.
Sombra.
Big trap. Sombra focus. Nice. You popped off at the end there.
Bronze.
Good fucking job.
I fucking hate playing Moira so much. Holy shit.
On this map. Or actually, yeah.
This is my favorite image. I'm posting it in Leviathan chat.
I'm going to start out.
Not focusing on the game after complaining to the coach that him talking about the game, about what you should be doing, was distracting. That's kind of irritating.
Let's just do this. Let's just run double DPS.
Don't fuck with that bridge.
Just.
No, they have
No,
pharmacy as well.
Okay. They have a Pharah.
Yep, they have a fire.
They're right
Go
side.
point.
Good calls.
Go straight to point.
Go point.
Ooh,
Go
unlucky
straight
sleep.
Go to point.
Good bubble to make sure your teammate survived. You guys are getting split here. If they were more prepared, they would have just rushed through and killed the people on the other side.
Well, no, I just saying.
I don't have LOS on you. You're outside point.
Oh.
You're really high charge, which is
Uh,
nice.
Line's
Can
one.
you bubble me? Actually, never mind. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Don't bubble me.
Nice. Focus.
I like how she asked you if you had it. Since your mic wasn't being recorded, it's a little hard to tell if you responded to that. I assume you probably did. And then she didn't say when she was rezzing, which is rough, right? Because then you don't know when to bubble or necessarily where she is. But if she says she's rezzing, then you know a lot of information.
Back up.
Oh fuck.
Oh my god.
I fucked up those supports.
Here, let's. They just got McCree. Let's.
No, they've had him. I
Dylan
just fucked
first.
them up.
Who'd they just switch? They just switched someone, I
They
swear.
didn't switch anyone.
I didn't switch to.
They're going right. They're going
Paying
right. Go
attention
back
to what the
point
team
and then
comms are
hold
is
it.
really
Yes,
good. I'm glad he at least, checked.
I can
I
res
killed
it if
them
you
all.
shield me. Or bubble me.
Yep, they're right. They're right.
Actually, no, I can't do it. Never mind.
Behind us, behind us.
Okay, so she just baited the entire team.
Ryan's one.
I need to make sure this Mercy doesn't res. You guys need to win that.
Have fun
No
with
more
that,
ults, no more
boy.
ults.
Good bubble, making sure your Reinhardt didn't get
Oh, no,
slapped
McCree,
to
I
save
see you
What?
In the corner.
McGee dead.
the person. So that was good. Overall good damage.
Yeah.
My question is what's the plan next, right? Do we have Barrage? Does it grab Barrage? You hit tab for a split
Yeah.
second. I don't know if you have the information now. Okay, so the plan should be to grab Barrage, right? Like, that's all you should need to totally wipe this entire team. Except for maybe the Pharah Mercy.
I've had it
No.
since I changed to
Are they
Junkrat.
going left or right? Where?
They're going left.
Right side.
No, they're going right.
Confusing
right. Go for it,
comms,
go for
but
it, go for it.
okay.
You good? Good here? Yep, they're right. Ryan has shatter.
Bubble to get some nice.
Break his shield. Break his shield.
The
Break
pl-
his shield, guys.
if you
Yeah,
you
yeah,
if you
yeah.
get two,
That's fine.
Nice.
yeah, okay.
Yep.
Good bubble, good bubble. She didn't even ask you for it that time, and you did it. That's pretty pog.
Mercy, you're gonna die.
Ryan's going left. We're kind of split right
Nice.
now.
No.
That's
We played off.
good. Okay. I don't have anything to say like overall because you played so many different heroes and roles that it's kind of hard to like sum it up. But yeah, overall I think it was pretty good. Your aim was good pretty much most of the time, right? Like I wouldn't say it was the leading the leading problem. If anything, it was really good, especially like after the first map. First map was a little rough, but I think you were just like a little hesitant, and so you played a little bit less optimally. But I think you played overall pretty good.